Welcome to the Leading Generations podcast from Antioch Bible Baptist Church in Gladstone, Missouri. Each week, the podcast focuses on helping our church family live out its mission of leading generations to make disciples of Jesus Christ everywhere. Thanks for listening.
Welcome to the Leading Generation podcast. It is good to see you today. Love getting to spend time with you each Wednesday. It is the fourth Wednesday of the month. And so on this Wednesday, we're taking time to do different things this year, but we love to interview staff. And today we get the opportunity to interview our office manager, Courtney. Welcome to the podcast.
Yeah.
So glad to have you on the podcast today. Thanks for being willing to do this. I know it's always fun to be in front of the camera. So thanks for being willing to join the podcast. Before we get to what you do, I want to start, by talking about what you do here at Antioch. So people probably when they see your face, they'll be like, oh yeah, she's the one who leads worship on Sunday. They're probably more known for that than being the office manager at Antioch. So I want to talk a little bit about what you do to start, but let's first do these rapid fire questions.
Ready.
Okay. So in the morning, are you going to do coffee or tea?
Without question, coffee. It's actually become my whole personality, but it's my hobby now, whatever, the espresso machine thing, whatever. Yeah. It's tea before worship, but coffee every other time.
Okay.
No.
Tea before worship.
Yeah. Just helps.
Is that for the
helps
throat?
Get it. Yeah. So this morning I've got a little throat coat tea and it's fine. Yeah. But as soon as we're done, coffee. I'm going straight to the coffee upstairs.
So what's your favorite blend of coffee? Where are you getting your coffee from?
Getting Renegade espresso roast.
Okay.
I am not a professional, but they have a bag that says espresso roast on it. So I was like, that sounds great. So that's the one.
That's what you're doing.
I'm watching Instagram Reels. My whole search page is nothing but espresso videos. So it is what it is.
Yeah, that's right. It's fun. It's a distraction.
I have a good hobby now.
That's right. Yeah, from work and life, kids, all that.
All the things. Well, Isaac is now helping me do my latte art.
Oh, that's
And so he's
fun.
like, look, Mom, this is an angel. And I'm like, wow, that's incredible. And about as good as I can do, too. So we're on par, bud. So
good. With your kindergartner. Yeah, you're nailing it.
Oh,
there
yeah.
you go.
He's good. Yeah.
All right. If you and Kyle are going on vacation, beach or the mountains?
We just went to Colorado for the first time for me a couple years ago, and it was awesome. I also can't swim, so that kind of has something to do with it, but at least not very well.
The ocean doesn't
it's
sound
a little
fun.
scary to me, but whatever. But the mountains were beautiful, and I was like, okay, we got to make this a regular trip probably. So yeah, definitely mountains.
So mountains. All right. KU or MU?
I have no dog in that fight. None. The only team I actually follow is the Chiefs. That's it.
Yeah, that's who you are. Big Chiefs fan.
Very big until they go to Kansas. We'll see how it goes. But
You're not bitter.
Yeah, no, I'm not mad at all. I'll occasionally follow Bearcats just because.
Sure.
Go Bearcats. But
right.
That's pretty much
Doesn't matter to you.
Yeah.
Final question. Chick-fil-A chicken or Raising Cane's chicken?
Chick-fil-A. Oh my gosh. This is a contention in our house, actually.
Oh, really?
Kyle, when he goes to if we're doing chicken, he will hit Raising Cane's. He takes the sacrifice and lets his food be colder than ours. And then he'll go get Chick-fil-A for the rest of us because it's we're not doing that. We want the Lord's chicken.
The Lord's chicken. Yes.
But,
I think as Jared refers to it as the Lord's chicken. Yeah. That's funny.
So,
well, what a guy Kyle is.
I know. He's pretty great.
All right. Tell us what you do here.
Yeah.
Again, before we get into your family and salvation and all that, tell us what you do here at Antioch as the, quote, office manager.
Yeah. It's very official sounding. Pretty much the way I describe it is if it's nerd related, I do that.
Okay.
So the office, budget, finance, that's the main part of my job. And yeah, you're right. Generally people aren't coming up going, oh, she's the one that does the finances in the office. That's so cool. But I have fun doing it. I loved doing math in high school and I just didn't like having homework. So now I get to do the math And generally I don't have homework. It usually stays here. And so I do that kind of stuff. And then also like administrative, technology, all that kind of stuff. So, yeah.
Yeah, great. Thanks for what you do. And we'll get in the story a little bit of how you took over for Janice, long time staff person here at Antioch. And so, all right, that's what you do. Yeah. And again, as Kellen, we were talking before the podcast started, maybe it's more what you don't do. So, I mean, you say it's IT stuff and office, some administration stuff, but there's a lot. Your hands are in a lot of different things at our church. So thank you for all the hard work you do to help our church be and do what it be and does. I don't know how you say that in the plural form. But you know what I'm saying. We're grateful for you. So tell us a little bit about your growing up years and how you came to know Christ and where you grew up, all that.
So my parents were believers, and they grew up in a town outside Lake of the Ozarks, Warsaw. Okay. And so they were used to like small churches. And so we moved to Kansas City when I was like 4, I think. And for more job opportunities for my dad, because he's in IT. And so we moved up here and they were a little skeptical of like city anything. And so we didn't do church for a long time, but they taught me and my brother the gospel. Like we always heard it at home. And so, went through elementary school, and in middle school, we went to a Relay for Life event where they listed off all the names of people in the area who had passed away from cancer. And so that weekend, I was like 7th or 8th grade, I was just really reflective of like, wow, like I know that eventually my name's going to be on some list of someone who has passed away this year, And so on the way home, I remember sitting in the back seat of the car, just like crying. And I had been taught that, there's 2 places you're going to go. Sure. You're going to go one of 2 places. And so it's about if you've trusted in Jesus. And I knew, but I had never really put my trust in Jesus. So in the back of the car, I was crying and I was like, well, I know my parents taught me this. Like I haven't put my trust in Jesus. And so there I did. And I just told Jesus I knew he was my savior, and fully trusted in him. And so because we didn't go to church, like I didn't do a whole lot with that. It was just like, I know I've done this now. And so I'm so grateful now because, a lot of times the enemy wants to use doubt, and I can't tell you the date, like when it was on the calendar. But once we did start coming to church, hearing like you and Bob say, you might not remember the date, but when you did it. Right. And so that was such a good, like, well, yeah, I know when I did it. And so that was so reassuring. And I think that's just speaks to the importance of being in church. And so not too long after that, I had a friend, it was my freshman year of high school, invite me to Antioch. And so. And
you went to high school where?
Oak Park.
Oak Park, yeah.
Northman, let's go. And so she invited me, and I came several times, and my parents were like, okay, like this is a big church. I don't know. Like they were pretty skeptical, like, cause they were used to 1-room churches. And so they were like, we're going to come with you. There's no way that the pastors know, people in churches these size. Like there's no way. And the first day we came, Pastor Bob came up and he's like, hey, I haven't seen you guys here, to my parents. And my dad was like, sure. Yeah. And if anybody knows my dad, he's a skeptical guy, which is good. It's a good thing. But he was like, yeah, this is our first time, in a church this size. We're just used to smaller churches. We'd be really curious, like where the money goes, which is so funny now to look at, like, this is my job now. Right. Yeah, that is sort of funny, and like freshman Courtney was like, I just like, it's great. They teach the Bible here. I don't, and so he was like, well, I'd love to meet with you and go over the budget with you. And my dad was like, okay. And so we did pretty shortly after we met in Bob's office, like our whole family went, and he walked my dad through the budget sheet that we give out at the like all church meeting. that I now make. So it's
Right,
like, so
yeah.
it's just so fun.
That is fun. And your dad still asks annoying
Oh,
questions.
I know all the questions at the same meeting. Yes.
Same,
Yeah. So I'm like, please just ask me before you go to the meeting. I can tell you.
Yeah.
So yeah, it
We
was
love you,
awesome.
Troy, by the way. This is no shade.
Yeah.
being
Oh
thrown
yeah.
at you.
Yeah. So it was so cool. He just walked us through like the budget, and I mean, I feel like it was pretty immediate. Like, okay, cool. Well, how do we become members? Like, we're good. Like, it's Bible teaching. We trust. Like, if you're this open with the budget, like, it seems pretty easy to trust you guys. So, Pastor Sean came to our house, did our membership interview. So that was. I actually just looked it up because I was curious.
Sure.
So I became a member officially March of 2010.
Okay.
So yeah.
15, 16
So it's like
years.
16 years, yeah.
16 years.
So crazy.
Yeah, that is crazy. So tell us a little bit about your personal family. So that's your, your mom and dad coming to Christ. Tell us a little bit about your family now.
Yeah. So I met Kyle while I was at Northwest in the choir department.
Yeah. So what was your major at Northwest?
Yeah, music ed.
Music
I
ed.
did use it for 3 whole years.
Look at you.
I know.
Incredible.
Yeah.
Worth the college education.
Totally worth all the money. Yeah, definitely. But I just say, well, at least I met Kyle there. So that's good.
right. Yeah.
And he is like the best person I know. So like, he's great.
Yeah.
And we have 3 little boys. And Isaac just finished kindergarten yesterday. It's fine. He's going to be a first grader now. And then Benny is our 3-year-old, and he's going to change the world.
Yes.
That's what we say. And David is 4 months old. So
Yeah. So you're coming on the heels of having a baby.
yeah.
Coming off maternity leave and
Yep. Been back like a month and a half ish. So yeah, it's been
How's
good.
that going from 2 to 3?
Honestly, everybody said going to 3 was the hardest. So I think we were just really mentally prepared for it to be like a disaster.
Yeah.
And it's 3 boys. So it's like a little bit of chaos, but we were mentally prepared. And it's the 3rd time. So it kind of feel like we know what we're doing a little bit better.
Yeah.
So we're outnumbered, and it's awesome. Like, it's great. We love it.
Yeah,
So
that's good. So what does Kyle do? So because what was his major? Wasn't it music ed as well? And,
yeah. So he also taught. He stuck it out a little bit longer than I did. He got to get the cute little plaque that you get when you stay for 5 years.
Oh, nice.
So
Yeah, good
and
for him.
then he left. So he did 5 years. God bless teachers that stay
Yes.
in because it is the Lord's work for sure. But he also left teaching. I always joke, it sounds like a company that has like the science-y name that's like the bad guy in a superhero movie. I don't know. I always do it wrong. But anyway, so he's a regional operations manager and helps like make sure that techs have what they need and that they are able to get where they need to get to. And so he's great at that. Like, he's such a people person.
Yeah.
So he's great at that.
How long you guys been married?
9 years in June. So we're trying to figure out what we're going to do for a 10-year trip or something.
That's right. Yeah. Yeah. Because the boys you can leave them with your mom and they'll be old enough.
Yeah.
At that time to leave them with your mom and dad. And, that'd be good.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of any good ideas for your 10th anniversary.
Yeah.
You know,
We'll probably just end up going back to Colorado or something. But
yeah, you should go to the mountains.
Right,
That's a good idea. Have a nice espresso looking over
That's
some
right.
mountains. That sounds like a good
sounds like the dream. Yeah.
a good plan.
Yeah.
So we talked a little bit about what your role is here on staff at Antioch. One thought I had with that, I'd like the church to know about your story is, again, thinking of our mission of leading generations. I want to talk about how you came onto staff and then how you ended up being our office manager, taking over for Janice Burns, who was on staff for 40 lot of years.
I want to say 43. I could be super wrong though.
Yeah, right. Yeah. It was a lot of 40. Yeah, it was in the 40s for sure. I was trying to think about that the other day as well. But so yeah, tell us how you ended up, again, going from teaching and your degree being in music ed to ending up being on staff at Antioch to now being in this position of office manager.
Yeah. Well, really, it starts in 6th grade because I determined I was going to be a Disney pop princess in 6th grade. And
very nice. Yeah.
Some of God's greatest gifts are unanswered prayers. But my teacher was really great. And she's
office manager is a disguise for a princess pop star.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah. But my teacher at the time was like, that's great, but you can be a music teacher with a degree. You can't be one without. So maybe have a backup plan, which is great. She ended up actually being my boss later when I did teach, cool. Which was cool. So from 6th grade on, I was like, I'm going to be a music teacher. This is it. And so I went to Northwest. I was like so determined. I'm like, I'm going to get this 5-year degree done in 4 years because I know what I'm doing. Like, there's no doubt in my mind. This is who I am, essentially. My first year was a dream. It was awesome. My second year, I had a different assignment of schools, and I was traveling a lot, and it was tough. And so, like, as the year progressed, it got harder. And I like Sunday nights, I was having panic attacks, and I was like, I was like, I'm not coming back in January. I wasn't even going to finish the year. And that same coordinator, she's like, well, you probably don't want to pay to, buy out your contract. So yeah, you are. But she was great. She tried to help me go observe other teachers and all these things. But the Lord used that because at the time that was like one of the hardest seasons of my life. But looking back now, I look back on it just so grateful because he used that to prepare me because I was so like my worth was in teaching. Really, I can look back on that now and know like I had placed who I was in teaching. Sure. And so he used that second year to just break me of that. So my third year, I was like in a different placement. It was actually, I felt better, like, but I still didn't feel like settled. And I was like, I don't know what's going on, but like I would come home to Kyle and be like, I don't know if I'm going to keep doing this. Like, I just can't, I don't know what it is. Yeah. And she came and observed me one time, and I just felt like I was supposed to quit, like right then. And I didn't do it because I chickened out. And I was like, nope. And she left, and I went home, and I was like, I was like disobedient to the Lord today. And I know that. Like, I can tell you confidently that's what it was. And Kyle's like, okay, well, we'll figure it out, I guess. Like, he's the planner of the two of us. And he's like, if you're going to quit, like, that's fine. We'll figure it out. Cool. Yeah. And
so he goes, it has a panic.
Yeah. So he goes back and he has his. No. So I sent her a message, and I was like, hey, can we meet? And I even tried to chicken out in that meeting. Like, I was like, are there any other job positions opening? Because maybe it's just the job position. Maybe that's the problem. Yeah. And she's like, I don't know. It's like the middle of the year. I don't know what's coming. And so I was like, nah, I'm really sorry. I am not coming back next year. Like, I think I'm supposed to be done. Sure. And I left that day, like, total peace, which made literally no sense. Right. Because I had just like committed to canceling half of our income. And it was like, well, I don't know, but I can tell that was the obedient thing to do. And my mom's going to love that I tell this story. So that summer I came in, my mom worked in the office and she worked in accounting, and I came to have lunch with her one day, and we knew that we were pregnant with Isaac, but we hadn't been telling everyone yet. And my mom was like, can we go next door and tell Janice? And I did not know Janice very well at the time. Like, that's important to the story. She was wonderful and my mom's boss, and I did not know her very well. Yeah. And so we went into Janice's office and we shut the door, and my mom was like, Courtney's got some news to tell you. And I was like, yeah, we're having a baby. And she's like, oh my goodness, that's so great. Like, congratulations. And my mom, without skipping a beat, goes, so, I'm going to be staying home and like taking care of the baby while Courtney goes to work. And I was like, my mom just quit her job with me in the room. Okay. And And so, like, looking back now, it's hilarious because Janice and I could laugh about it when she was training me later.
Right,
But then my mom goes, but I know somebody looking for a job. And I was like,
what is happening right now?
oh my gosh, this is mortifying. And Janice was just like, okay, yeah, we'll have to think about it. Sure. And I was like, please, yes. Yeah, you don't, I didn't know that this was going to be a conversation. So what's cool is during that second year of teaching where I was really struggling, I for whatever reason started taking a different way to work, and I would drive by the church, and I still in my mind was like, I think I'm supposed to be teaching forever. This year just feels weird. But I would drive by the church on that like other route, and I was like, but also like there's something weird there. I don't know what it is, but like I feel like maybe that's part of the story, and I don't know what it is. But it was just like the Lord preparing me. I can look back on that now and go, wow, he's just so kind.
Yes, he is.
And so fast forward back to super awkward conversation with my mom and Janice, and
she's quitting trying to get,
and I'm
you
like,
a job. Yeah.
And so Janice was like, I don't know her. Like, how do I know she could do any accounting? And like, we laugh now because if I had come on the accounting, it might have been easier actually. But I at the time served in worship ministry and student ministry, and my degree was in music education, the two things, right? And so Janice had thought about it and prayed about it, and she was like, well, we could do some moving around on staff, and you could come on at part-time as the worship and student ministry assistant. And I was like, man, that's the dream. Part-time. I get to be home with my baby more often. Like, that's the dream. Love it. And so I did. I came on August of 2019 as the worship and student ministry assistant for Brett Hunter and Marcus Mackey.
Yeah.
So what a time that was.
Yes.
It was great. Love both those guys.
Yes, we do. Love them.
It was great. And then the longer I stayed on, I started doing, especially around COVID, I started doing more communications things.
Yes.
While we were working from home. And then when we came back, I was just really excited about the communications thing. So I started doing more, and you guys let me do it. And then finally we were like, well, maybe this will move to full-time communications and full-time worship ministry. It was like, awesome. This is the dream now. This is so cool. The dream just kept shifting because it was all so great.
Yeah.
And so I hadn't even really gotten into like finally in that like full-time communications and worship ministry when Janice sent me an email and she's like, hey, when you have time, can you come to my office today? And I was like, sure. Normal. Went back to her office and she's like, could you shut the door? And I was like, less
Is my
normal.
mom in here somewhere?
Yeah, right. What's about to happen? And she's like, hey, we wanted to let you know that I'm thinking about retiring in the next year. And I was like, that's amazing. Congratulations. Like, awesome. And she's like, so you might be wondering why I'm telling you. And I'm like, a little bit. Yeah. And she's like, well, Pastor Steve and I were wondering if you'd be interested in the job. And I was like, that is not at all what I would have anticipated this meeting being. So she's like, take time and pray about it. Talk to Kyle about it. So it was a Thursday because I had worship rehearsal that night, and I'm like texting Kyle, I need you to answer the phone. We gotta talk. And I had like 10 minutes left before rehearsal started. So I'm like sitting in my car like, Kyle, this is what we just talked about. Oh my gosh. And he's like, oh, wow. Okay. Yeah. Well, sorry. You have to go to rehearsal now. And at the time we were singing, Oh Lord, my rock and my redeemer. And at the end of that song, the lyrics are, may all my days bring glory to your name. And I still have the note on my phone where it was a pros and cons list of like, do we do this? Do we not?
Yeah.
And it was titled, May all my days bring glory to your name. Because I was like, God, if this is it, if you want me to do this, I'll do it.
Sure.
Like, I have no business. I have no training, right? But if this is a thing that you want me to do, if that's what's next, then that's what's next.
Yeah.
And so we did. We prayed about it. And so I was like, all right, if they trust me to do this, we'll go for it.
Yeah.
And here we are.
Here we are.
3 years later.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And it's been a great, again, it's not been as public as Bob and I's transition.
Yeah.
But it's been a great transition,
Yeah.
which speaks to you and Janice as well, right? Like the building up to this transition, and then even post Janice being gone, the transition as well. So you've done a really good job at honoring Janice and and the team and all the work that has got to that point, but also moving us forward in those areas of that you oversee. So thank you for
Thanks.
leading humbly through that transition. Yeah.
Well, and like you said, Janice has been here for 40 something years, right? And for her to have stayed on for a year, and I'm gonna try not to get weepy about it, but like,
It's an okay place.
yeah. She just was such a great example to all of us. Like, she's such a great example of just being steady. Like, part of the training was like, hey, you need to know about some of the less than awesome times. Not that, they're almost every day is not like awesome and so great, but there are hard times too.
There are.
And some of the things that she told me, like these are some of the things that we've gone through as a church, as a team. But she has always been steady. She loves Antioch, and just what an example that was to me coming into this role. I'm just super thankful for the investment she made in me, because there were times I would leave going, ooh, I wonder if she's sure she made the right call on this one. But, but she was so gracious to me, and I'm so thankful for that. She still takes my texts and calls.
Right. Yeah.
So
I was going to say, I love that about your guys' relationship too, where you can still text her, call her, she'll gets back, doesn't ghost
She's
you.
not like, who is this?
And she'll still come in the office if we need help with the front desk and sit at the front desk. So again, speaks to Janice's heart as well, that she still loves Antioch, still on, in a way, is still on the team and a part of what God's doing here.
For sure.
So, well, I think you bring a unique perspective, and something I want the church to know is to see what you see God doing at Antioch. Again, because you're sitting in a different seat than a pastor role, and others that we've had who maybe like Michaela, who's more focused on elementary ed or kids ministry, and Ruth with women's ministry. So you get to bring, you serve in worship ministry, and you have a perspective from there, but you get to see God's work at our church in a different way, coming from the IT side of it, the financial side of it, the HR things that you're working with. And just I wanted to have you share with our church family what you see God doing in and through Antioch that is encouraging your heart.
Yeah. When I hear that question, it really makes me so grateful for the kindness of the Lord, because I do get to see so many different things. And so it's almost hard to answer, even because there's so many encouraging things, because just the seat that I get to be in, I'm super grateful for that. And so I think the thing that stands out to me most is just the faithfulness of God's people. Like, in everything that came to mind with that question, it comes down to God has been so faithful to us, and we have such great examples in our church of people who are faithful to the Lord and faithful to His church. I think of I get to see, because I get to help the accounting. Our church is so generous, and so there are things where people are like, I know of this need and I want to help. There's so much of that happens, which I think is just beautiful. I see, even though my job is not specifically worship, right? One of the coolest things about what I get to do is on the worship team, I'll be leading a song or whatever, and I'm looking out, and I know, because I'm on the team, people's prayer requests that are coming in, and I know what that person's going through, and they're here worshiping, and they're, in their tough seasons and their great seasons and whatever, they're here worshiping, and that's a beautiful thing. And they're faithful, even in the tough seasons. I just think that is so cool to get to witness that. And that's encouraging to me. That's so encouraging to me. These people are so faithful. I see it, this is not related to my job, but my kids coming home and saying, just the awesome things. We were doing latte art, just last week. And Isaac was like, look, Mom, this is heaven and earth, because God so loved the world. And I was like, that's Yes,
Yes,
absolutely. In the latte art, yes. And like he's hearing that at home, sure, but he's hearing that here regularly. And so I just see that all across. Like we have teams of people that are coming here during the week that nobody would know. Right. Like Dennis has his team of guys who come and help with chairs and projects and all of these things. Nobody knows. They're not asking for, recognition, but they're faithful.
Yes.
We have a team that comes and helps us with finances. They're not asking for recognition. They're just faithful. They're using the gifts that they've been given by the Lord to give back to him, because we wouldn't have anything without him. And so it's just such a beautiful thing to watch the faithfulness of the church live out.
Yeah, I agree. And, I think with that, seeing the faithfulness of God, I think we need the next generation, like you and Kyle, to step up and be faithful, right? Like, I think I'm excited to see how God's going to use the next generation. Because again, with the Mel and Janice Burns and some of these who are farther along in their journey in life, they've been that's been the mark, and it continues to be the mark.
Yeah.
I'm praying that God will continue to raise up a next generation in our church family that will be marked by faithfulness as well, through the good, through the difficult days, that they'll just be faithful. So thank you to you and Kyle for following the example of generations in front of us to continue to be faithful here at Antioch. So one last question, we'll be done. We like to end with this question, but this is the Leading Generations podcast, the mission of our church, leading generations to make disciples of Jesus Christ everywhere. So when you hear the term leading generations, what comes to your mind?
Yeah, I think that is it. It's leading the generations to be faithful to the Lord. And exactly like you said, like we have such good examples of people who have been faithful.
Yeah.
And so now I want to be faithful.
Right.
And with that, then I want to teach my children to be faithful.
Yeah.
I just, it's so encouraging. I mentioned it in a staff meeting recently. I read an article that we are statistically more separated generationally than we've ever been, just culturally.
Sure.
And I read that article and I was so encouraged, because our church focuses so much on leading generations. And so because of that, I see like the generations all mingling every Sunday, Wednesdays, the Young at Heart lunches that we get to be a part of, like it's so cool to see the generations together. I'm excited. Like we have family worship this weekend and we're all going to be in the same room, and it's going to be loud and it's going to be awesome.
Yes, it will
and so I it's so encouraging, because that is against the cultural norm.
Yeah.
And I think that's going to make people go, what's different? Why?
Yeah.
Why do you think that's important? Yes. And I just think that's super cool.
Yes,
so,
it is.
Yeah.
And I think your family lives that out. Every Sunday I can see you guys about 5-6 rows back,
5,
right?
Yep.
Yeah, right.
We have to count. If we're the first, if we're the first people, we have to count. It's 5 rows back.
It was actually a certain number, but so you're one of those church members where you got your seat assigned and nobody better sit in that 5th row.
Before I was serving on worship, it was awesome. My dad had to be the one on the end, and so I was like, "Listen, I have to get out for the response song, so I'm not crawling across 4 people. You got to sit on the inside." And it was like a whole thing. It was great. It's great. We like to give my dad a hard time.
Thinking of leading generations, I love every Sunday seeing you and Kyle and your mom and dad sitting out there together. And then on family worship, obviously, when the kids are sitting with you too. That's what at the heart of our church is, that we would see that multi-generational faithfulness. So so thankful that God led your family to Antioch, and that Pastor Bob met with your dad and mom and talked through the budget. And that you ended up here. Thankful for how God worked in your life that led you to join our staff, that you had that awkward meeting with Janice and your mom, which is so fun. And then that God would put it on the heart of Janice and myself to see you to be the next office manager at Antioch. I know that's a fun, weird title, but so grateful for his leadership in your life, and looking forward to the future faithfulness of you here and your family. So thank you for joining us today. Leading Generation Podcast family, thanks for being a part of our podcast today, and encourage you to continue to be faithful no matter where you're at in your journey, whether you've been at Antioch for 40 plus years or you've been at Antioch for 10 years. Let's continue to be faithful to God, because I know this, He's going to be faithful to us. So we love you. Thanks for joining us today.